Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora tātou katoa. I've been asked to do a karakia this evening because, as we all know, this is the Māori way, and I accepted the invitation, and here I am up on the stage. So let me give you a few signs. Papatua nuku and rangi nui. Because if you're aware of the legends, then we pay respects to them both. Doesn't matter whether we're on a marae or a hall, we offer our aroha to the whare. And I would also like to mihi to you all, no matter where you've come from the four winds. And it's really nice to see lots of people. Last year we had a few less in the audience, so it's great to see so many here. So I'm hoping that during this kaupapa this evening, you'll be able to catch some signs and learn a few new ones. But what we're here for is to celebrate New Zealand Sign Language Week. It's been 10 years since it became law. So I would like to pay my respects to you all for coming this evening. So I'm just going to keep it very short. Here goes our karakia. I also have a waiata, my own waiata. That's my waiata. It's about a baby who has the three kete of knowledge, can learn 3 different languages, English, te reo and sign language, to live a successful life. So that's my waiata. Tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora. On to you, Matt.
Kia ora mita. Welcome everybody to... Sorry, just wait for a sec. Are you ready? Kia ora mita, thank you. Welcome everybody to Pecha at 116. This is to celebrate New Zealand Sign Language Week. As Mita mentioned, this is the 10th anniversary of New Zealand Sign Language Week, and also NZSL becoming an official language of New Zealand, so pretty momentous occasion. In typical PK style, we're a week late. It was New Zealand Sign Language Week last week, but we'll still have a good time anyhow. I'm not going to be the MC tonight. Alana in the front row is going to take over that, so I just got a little bit of housekeeping. Toilets are out to the left. In the unlikely event of an emergency, we quietly and orderly go out the front door and into the car park. We will be having an intermission after 4 presentations, and this evening, instead of a bar, because we couldn't get a bar licence this time, we have a kai, which has been kindly donated by Deaf Aotearoa, so we'll set that up just before the interval. Mita will do a karakia before we eat, and then after that we'll be into the second half. So sit back and enjoy, and welcome Alana.
Hello everyone. If you're wondering who I am, my name's Alana Best, and I've done a number of Pecha Kucha presentations, but it's the first time that I'm going to be doing the MC, so I am feeling a little bit nervous. I'm just going to introduce the Pecha Kucha speakers very briefly because we want to get on and hear their speeches, and our first presenter for this evening is going to be Kim Robinson. For over 25 years, Matt? Oh, I'm so sorry. This wasn't on the list, actually. We have a surprise for you all, actually, a special 10-year celebration surprise for someone who couldn't come this evening. So let's see this. Hello, Vicky. Thank you for your invitation to me to fly to Whangarei for your sign language event. I'm very sorry, but I can't make it. I have another commitment. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you. Bye. So if you're not sure who Mojo Mathers is, she's the Green Party MP, and she's been advocating for the clean-up, especially of the rivers in our country. But she's the first deaf, hearing impaired MP, and she's advocating on behalf of the deaf community. So it's great to know that she's been learning sign language, which she's done quite recently. So yay, Mojo. So now moving on to our first speaker, who will be Kim Robinson. For 25 years and more, Kim's been advocating for deaf access. Kim has recently established his own organisation called Tech Able. And Kim, if you'd like to come and tell us about that.
Thank you, Alana. Kia ora, everybody. My name is Kim Robinson. A few years ago I moved to Whangarei and I've set up Tech Able Trust recently. Tech Able Trust focuses on accessible technology for people with disabilities. We've recognised there's a huge gap in the market for accessible technology. Now technology is growing and we want disabled people to grow alongside it. Next slide please, Matt. Yes, thanks. You may have seen in the news stories about pizza drones. Somebody can ring up, order a pizza to be delivered to their home, right? Well, I've been thinking about this. Sometimes, what happens if your pizza arrives late? Why is that? Possibly because there's a deaf person walking along the footpath and the pizza drone is stuck behind them going, move aside, and the deaf person can't hear them. So the drone's stuck. So quite likely your pizza can arrive home late because the deaf person couldn't hear the drone. Or what happens if there's somebody on a mobility scooter on the footpath and the pizza drone's stuck behind them? So who gives way? The pizza drone or the mobile scooter, the mobility scooter? So I think what we need to do is widen the footpaths so that the pizza drone can have quick access and everybody can fit on the footpath, or maybe designated lanes. What do you think? It makes sense, doesn't it? Technology is beautiful, but it's a waste if it doesn't match the needs for everybody concerned. So widen the footpaths, I say. So technology's been evolving over time. You can see the old style phone there and the new mobile phones, both of them, right? Now before, deaf people or people with disabilities could not access the old style phones. Right, that was really disappointing, but the new phones are far more accessible and so they have much better technology now. So the old technology, we had to treat that differently to the new technology that we have now. That's treated differently. So maybe you've seen a lot of people posting on Facebook, oops, I dropped my phone down the toilet, yikes. So new technology. I mean, that would never have happened with grandma, right? But mobiles, yes, always. So perhaps we need to create new technology again. We need to create a toilet Wi-Fi jammer. Okay? Just to make sure that the phone does not work when you're in the toilet. Help keep our precious new technology safe. Okay, next one, thank you. So accessible technology has been changing over time. As I said before, the older style phones, we couldn't access that. So some time ago, we lobbied via the Human Rights Commission to set up a New Zealand relay service. So deaf people or people with disabilities could actually use the telephone service and accessible technology. So it doesn't matter whether you're speech impaired, you're a signer or you're typing, you can still use this accessible technology for communication. The other slide is a screenshot from Parliament TV. So you know last week was Sign Language Week, and as you can see here, you've got the interpreter highlighted in the corner. So now once a year, every year, for 1 week, deaf people can get to see what's actually going on in Parliament and see what they're talking about. Note the captions. Well, soon, later this year, we will have full captioning for deaf people. We'll be able to actually see via captions, and using this accessible technology, we get to see information in real time, and we can make our own decisions on this and be participating members of society. Pinkie. Tech Able Trust aims to advance technology access and use within New Zealand's disability sector, which means we have new technology and we add the disabilities component to that. So our aim is to develop software interpreter clarifying. Right, for example, going back to the pizza drone. So we have the pizza drone, and so if we add the disabilities accessible component to that, we'll make sure that your pizza never arrives late. Next one, thanks. Yes. Tech Able Trust has quite a few objectives that are possible. Our aim is to design smartphone apps to help advance communication. Internet safety awareness for scams. People with disabilities have a big problem with scams. It affects all of us, but fraud, it's very difficult to actually say, oh yeah, that is actually fraud, and people have lost a lot of money. So we need better safety protection measures. Tech Able aims to set up forums to educate people on internet safety. Video captioning services. We need more English subtitles for arenas such as YouTube, council, hospitals. We need more English subtitles and te reo subtitles. Also, perhaps you have an old mobile or a laptop, maybe under 2 years old. If you're planning on upgrading it, replacing it, then please don't throw it away. We accept donations, and what we do is we refurbish these devices and we give them to people with disabilities so they can access, have accessible communication technology. Recently, I had an experience where I had 64 hours without a qualified interpreter. This was here in Whangarei. Recently, it was Easter. Easter Friday, I almost died. I had no access to a qualified interpreter for 64 hours. This is Whangarei, 2016. We need to be doing better than this. We need to upgrade Northwind's accessible technology. We will save lives in the community. Our aim is to make Northwind a fully inclusive technology hub where people will come here because of that. Interpreter clarifying. Yes, Northwind can become leaders in New Zealand for accessible technology. So if you'd like to help, have a look at the website www.techable.org.nz. If you want more information, come and see me. I have some handouts. Meanwhile, thank you.
Thank you, Kim, for your presentation this evening. It had a bit of humour included. And yeah, I'd really like to see that pizza drone. I hope it has a flashing light system so that as a deaf person I can know that my pizza's arrived, because the doorbell won't work for me. Moving on. Our next speaker let me get that right. Our next speaker is Karina, and her topic is My Normal Family. Karina is a daughter of deaf parents, and so we're very interested to hear what she has to say. Welcome, Karina.
Can we start? Oh, do I speak on this bit? Okay, kia ora everyone. My name is Karina Moses. This is a photo of me. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Whangaruru, Whakapara, and Waikari. I'm the oldest of 4 girls, and my name sign is this. Pretty dumb, but it's this. These 2 are my parents. They're both deaf. Mum is, this is my mum, Kathy, and the other one is my dad, Mita, the one that did the karakia this morning. This is a photo from Mum's 21st, so I thought I'll use that, and they're both deaf. So obviously me and my sisters are pretty much coders, so we're children of deaf adults. And this is my normal, so I'll just introduce my sisters. Huya is the one in the white, Pua is the one in the red, and my baby is Raywin. So what is it like? That's pretty much the question that I'm asked all the time. It's just normal, it's just normal to me. And so I'll just show you guys my normal lifestyle with both parents. Okay, keep calm and respect the deaf community. Obviously, I've been brought up in the deaf community pretty much since I was born. They are pretty much a close-knit family, I would say. They would all meet up at Deaf Club. And this is where me and my sisters would go with my parents, and this is pretty much an event where they all meet up and catch up with each other. Okay. Deaf people have unlimited time, okay? So they take ages just to say goodbye. Honestly, I would tell my dad, ask my dad, oh, when are we going? And then, my dad would say, oh yeah, we're going. And I say, oh, and we're still there half an hour later. So, yeah, deaf people, they take their time, so you gotta be patient. Okay. What is it? Oh, opening the toilet, because my parents are deaf, so our way of knowing someone that's in the toilet is we open the door a little instead of knocking, because obviously they can't hear. Next photo, lights on and off. Okay, that's pretty significant. To get the deaf person's attention, we just turn the lights on and off pretty much, and that's when they stop talking, because you could stand in front of them and they just won't stop. So turn the lights on and off, and then they'll stop and listen, okay? Growing up, my parents, my dad, he can't pronounce words properly. So growing up, me and my sister would follow what dad would say. So with this, he calls this a weediator, okay? And so me and my sisters, we've been growing up calling it weediator instead of weed eater, okay? Noise is not a significant, it's not a problem in the deaf world, obviously. And so I'm used to talking loud, okay? And I've never noticed how loud I talk until I go and stay at my mate's house and they'll tell me to shut up because my parents are up and they're gonna hear everything. And I was, oh my goodness. Okay, loud music, okay. Loud music, I love it because I love listening to music, and I could play at 1 o'clock in the morning and my parents can't even hear anything, so that's pretty awesome. It sucks when I go to my friend's house because we can't play loud music at all. Slamming doors, okay. We can slam doors, hit pots, anything. Like my mum will be in the kitchen and she'll be, doing dishes, and the pots will be slamming and everything, and, it'll be loud, and that's my normal, okay? That's my sister's normal, and that's just our normal, okay? Noise is just not a problem. Okay, sharing my emotions, okay? So it's hard for me to share what I feel like or how I feel with my parents because they can't understand. Okay, so it's kind of hard to explain things to them sometimes, and I find that really difficult. And yeah, that's kind of the downside of it. Interpreter. Okay, so I'm the oldest. I'm pretty much the interpreter for my parents. So, being the little 2-year-old that I was, I would speak to strangers just for my parents. So, I'll translate what the hearing person would want to say to my parents, and I'll translate it to, them. Okay. And the Māori deaf community. Okay, I am lucky to be a part of another community, which is the Māori deaf community, because my dad is fully, into it. I've learnt the Māori deaf way of learning Māori things, and it's pretty awesome. Home sign versus professional sign. Okay, there's a difference for, I would say for me as a coder. I don't do professional sign. Okay, what the interpreter's doing. Okay, I do my own sign. I have my own home sign, and yeah, that's just for us. Me and my sisters use the sign language tool to talk about people, okay? I'm sorry, but that's the truth, okay? So me and my sister could be just sitting here and we will talk about one of yous, and I'm sorry, but it's the truth, okay? And it's pretty awesome. Hearing people. So I'm hearing, and I'm lucky to have deaf parents because I can step in my own world, okay, the hearing world, and also step into the deaf world, and I find that, I'm pretty lucky and pretty special, so shame. Okay, keep calm and take the responsibility. I'm the oldest. I've taken the responsibility since I was little, and I still do. I've moved out of home, and my parents still come to me for everything, and I still play the parent role for my sisters. So yeah, I take the responsibility pretty good, pretty hard. This is my family, and this is my normal lifestyle, and I love it. So thank you. Thank you. Woo!
How interesting to hear Karina's normal family and what that's like. I hope you found it interesting and picked up a few new things. Thanks, Karina, for your presentation. It was really fantastic. Moving on, the next presenter will be Mihi Masters. Mihi was born hearing and became deaf at the age of 4. At age 6 or 7, she went to boarding school in Auckland, where similarly other deaf children were boarders at Kelston, which has become the Deaf Education Centre. Recently, Mihi celebrated her 70th birthday, and there were lots of people who made the trip and had a great party with her to celebrate that birthday. She has 4 children, 6 grandchildren, and now she's raising her great-granddaughter, and they are all hearing. Mihi will come to the stage and tell us about her experiences at deaf school, the 10 years between the 1950s and 1960s. Welcome, Mihi.
I don't need to say you're going to voice for yours.
I've got this
Yeah,
one.
you're going to voice
I'm going to
for
voice
both.
for both of them. Yes, cancelled it. Hello everyone, my name is Mihi, M-I-H-I, and my surname is Masters. So, thank you for coming, Mihi, and sharing your experiences of boarding school, because it was some time ago. Yes, that's right. When I was small, I was ill with meningitis. I was born hearing and then became deaf through the meningitis. And my mum and dad didn't know that I was deafened because they just assumed that I was hearing. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, Mihi, don't worry about that. Everybody, look at Mihi. Here she is. She's a fabulous woman, and everyone here's your friends, Mihi. So, my grandmother was alive when I was sick, and she gave me Māori medicine, and she really saved my life, but I did become deaf. My mum and dad and all my family had no idea about sign language. So does that mean, Mihi, that you didn't communicate with them so well? Lots of breakdowns in communication? Well, I just don't know what point it was me going to school with hearing kids because it was no point really. The teachers were aware that I didn't speak. So, what happened is my mum and dad were recommended that I go to Kelston Deaf School. At that time, the doctor found out that I was actually deaf. And my father took me to Auckland, to the old deaf school, dropped me off, and then he was gone. I didn't know what was going on. Where's my dad? I had absolutely no idea what was happening. And it was really hurtful. The teacher grabbed my hand and I was very shy because all these deaf kids were using their hands and were signing. And my eyes were looking around at all these kids. I couldn't sign and I just watched them. I was very, very shy, just watched them all sign. Anyway, over time, a couple of weeks later, one of the teachers started teaching me how to use my voice. We were not allowed to sign, and it was like I had my hands underneath my seat. If I made a mistake, I got slapped in the face, And I cried a lot because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to do. And so for balloon, they would show me how to say words using a balloon, and I would put my lips against it for a bit. I would be holding the balloon and I could feel the words that was on the lips of the teacher, and if I got it wrong, I used to get really angry when I got slapped because I didn't want to do it, and I thought, what are you hitting me for? And, you know, it was really frustrating for me. I didn't have any sign language and I couldn't talk either, so it was really frustrating. Anyway, I learned from the other deaf children how to sign. I picked it up from someone who might say good or toilet. And for breakfast time, I picked up the signs, and we're talking about old time sign language. Very, very old time sign language. I learned the sign for bad. And so, Mihi, did the teachers tell you off? Oh, we had to hide away from the teacher. And so we would sneak away and sign with each other where they couldn't see us. We had pretty sharp eyes, and so we would have a lookout because we weren't allowed to use sign language. But now, oh, it's lovely to see older people signing, and I really love signing with them. At that time, it became total communication, which is a style of signing. So the reason for using total communication was so the deaf children could go to mainstream schools with other hearing kids, and it was quite boring. And they would use our hands to say clever or whatever, but the new New Zealand Sign Language, which I see these young ones using, is beautiful. Everyone is really proud of it, and I love to see it. And my family didn't learn sign language at all, and I didn't know what they were saying a lot of the time, and I was angry quite a lot trying to figure out what it is that they are trying to say to me, and they used to push me away when I asked them what they were saying. So things are quite different now, and so I've kind of settled down a bit now. When I was married, my husband was half deaf. From Rarotonga. And we were married for 45 years, but he's gone now. And so, Mihi, you raised your children? Yes, we had 2 daughters. And now they have grandchildren. They're all grown up. And now there are great-grandchildren. 22 great-grandchildren. And Mihi, you brought them all up, didn't you? They're all hearing? That's right, Harry. Yeah, they're all really great at sign language. Yay! And they all support me now, all those children and grandchildren, for everything. So thank you everyone, thank you. Thanks for sharing your experiences with us. Oh, thank you very much, Kui. Our favourite Kui. Mihi, thank you for telling us about the time when you grew up without sign language. And we know that now you're a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and all your children have learned sign language. So that's a really positive view of how you can be free through using sign language. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate how nervous you are, but thank you very much for your valuable presentation. Our last presenters before the kai, and we will pause after this presentation for a karakia because we need to have the kai blessed. Mita will again come and bless our kai, and then we're going to have something to eat after this next group, okay? So our last presenters are AUT students. They're going to come up and tell us about their experiences one by one. If you'd like to come up to the stage, students. We can see that they're a little bit nervous.
Hold up. Okay, testing. Okay, here. Here. Right, perfect. Oh, hello, that's a bit bright. Maybe I have to duck a little bit. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Need to put earplugs in. Dale just told me off there. Naughty me. All right. Namaste. Konnichiwa. Kia ora. Kia ora koutou. So my name is Zana. And my side name is Zana, like this. So I'm from, on my mother's side, we're from a place called Kucha. So do you know Tokoroa? It's near there, Putararu, and then you've got Tira quite close as well. That's where I'm from. So do you know Moirua? Yes. Maiwata. Matawai. It's very, very close to Moirua. So how did I get involved in sign language? How did I get involved in the deaf community? Well, I grew up in Putararu. And the whānau there was in Tirau. You might know the family there, the last name. Innes? Perhaps you might know them there. Ellis. Right, there's a very, very strong family there. And so I learned something from there. So I grew up in the area, so I knew their family quite well. So that's me. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, so who am I? I am Amanda, this is my sign name. So this is my sign name because it's related to movies. I always love watching movies. So I grew up in West Auckland, proud West Auckland I am. I got involved in the deaf community when I met my best friend when I was about 13 or 14. And I started slowly learning to sign, and I didn't know anything. And I got involved with her family. Her family was fully deaf, and they signed at home. And then I started going to deaf events with them. And I started slowly learning more and more sign language. One person was like, oh, why don't you have a look at going to AUT and look at the interpreting course? And I thought, not too sure. At that time, I was really into digital media. And so I wanted to go into media communications and couldn't really decide. Then I went, oh, yeah, I'll just go into interpreting. And I really enjoyed it at AUT.
Hello. My name's Kimberly. My surname is Kimberly like this. I'm from Wellington, and I grew up in Wellington. So how did I become involved in the deaf community? In Wellington, I met a deaf man, and we became friends. And I decided I wanted to learn sign language. So I decided this is a great way of communicating, and I started to go to night classes. I went for 1 year. Then I moved to Auckland, so now I'm my 3rd year student. Thank you so much for welcoming us here tonight. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Can everyone see me? Right? Great. So, my name is Dale. My sign name is Dale. You may be wondering why that's my sign. So, I'm going to tell you a little story. Now, there are 2 reasons as to why that is my sign. Now, the first reason is I love really fast cars. I'm really mad about cars. So, the speed of it's quite, great. So the second reason is I like to swim. So merge those reasons together, that's my sign name. So you might be wondering how I'm connected to the deaf community. Well, actually, when I was born, my parents are deaf, so that's how I became involved in the deaf community. I'm a coder. It's just like Karina. Hello there, fellow coder. So really, I didn't really decide to become involved. I was actually born into the community. So I decided to join the interpreting course when I was 19. So I went to Te Whaotearoa in Hamilton. Sorry, interpreter. So I went into Te Whaotearoa to buy a t-shirt. So when I went there, I sat down and I was just chatting away. Got my t-shirt. But the woman there, she kind of we had a little chat together, and she asked me whether or not I want to become an interpreter. And that kind of got me thinking, and I thought, So after chatting for a bit, went away, I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, definitely, I'm going to become an interpreter. So here I am, a 3rd year AUT student. 1 more year, so I can't wait to successfully finish that. Thank you all.
Hello everyone. My name is Casey and this is my sign name. And why is that my sign name? Because I always do this. And now all my classmates copy me as well and do that as well. How did I get involved in the deaf community? Well, back in my day when I went to school, I watched TV and there was a sign language interpreter on there. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. So I went on to Google and researched about it. And then, I found out there's a close night class to my house. So I thought, maybe I might attend it. So I went there for 2 years and really enjoyed it. So once I finished high school and graduated, and I was trying to think what I wanted to do with my future. So I thought, why not go into the interpreting course at AUT? And then I got involved in the deaf community through there since then.
And I'm also from Wellington. Cool.
Lucky last. Hi everyone, lovely to meet you all. My name is Inga, and that's my sign name there. I grew up in Auckland, the same as a few of the other students. And I think, actually before I started learning sign language, I'd never met a deaf person, so I went into the course fresh. But I'm learning sign language now. I love language, and I really love trying out new languages. It was really hard going into the class and learning how to sign, but I really enjoy it, and it's something that I'm really passionate about, learning about the culture, learning about the community. So that's how I became a student at AUT.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you to the trainee interpreters who've come from Auckland. They've driven all the way here and they're going to have to drive all the way home. Who's driving, I wonder? Oh, Dale's driving. Uh-oh. What's his name sign? Dale, speeding, right? Because he likes fast cars. Drive safely, all of you. Watch the road. I can talk? Anyway, thank you very much for your time. You can see the different backgrounds that students come from and how they've all become interested in interpreting it from different ways. So if any of you in the audience like the idea, you can go to the AUT interpreting course, which is a 3-year degree. There are scholarships available if you're not able to afford it for yourself, and we always need more interpreters, so please think about it.